This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight from downtown St. Louis, the homestand continues. It's game number 2. The Miami Marlins and the St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome to the broadcast booth here at Busch Stadium. That's the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds. Jim Hayes is with us. I'm Dan McLaughlin. The Cardinals win 9-0 in Game 1. Waino great on the mound. And the young guy coming through, and that's Juan Yepez.
Yeah, he was incredible last night. He got some pitches to handle, and he did not miss them. But you can see right here, he has been doing some damage on some off-speed pitches. Look at even the sinker was only 88 miles an hour. That's a good job of hitting because a lot of guys can hit the fastball. Can you stay on the other stuff?
Well, last night we saw 2 more debuts. Connor Capel came in late. Defensive replacement, James Nail. Grew up a Cardinal fan, came in and pitched late. And so far this year, the most major league debuts this season. The Pirates with 12, the Cardinals 11, then Oakland and Baltimore. The difference, Cardinals have a chance to win their division. Coming up, we'll take a look at the right-hander making his major league debut last night, James Nail, right on the nail. It's the Cards and Marlins. Moments away on Bally Sports.
At Busch, Dan and Jim with more on Juan Yepez's MVP candidate teammate next.
Night in Game 1. And Goldie will try to make a little history here this evening. 1 home run shy of 300. 90 of the 299 in his career with the Birds on the bat. Putting together an MVP season in 2022. It's Paul Goldschmidt. Dakota Hudson, the right-hander, on the mound for St. Louis tonight. Looking for a series win are the Cardinals. The Cardinals, the Fish, comes your way next. For you, by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by CarShield. CarShield cars go farther. It's a beautiful night here in downtown St. Louis. Game 2 of the 3-game series between the Miami Marlins and the St. Louis Cardinals. Lineups have been exchanged. It is 84 degrees. And with Jim Hayes, the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Cardinals begin the day second place in the Central, half game back of Milwaukee, starting in right field. 10th start in right. It is Juan Yepez, 26th game overall in the outfield. As we've talked about last night, I'm sure it'll be a point of conversation tonight, but the Sun Field, you get a good look at it there. He's a young man just making sure that bat stays in the lineup because it plays.
Well, he better make sure he stays in the shadows for the first 2 innings, or he will be trying to make up for some mistakes. But you're not kidding. This guy can hit, and he plays everywhere, and he has a great personality for this game. It's fun to watch.
Here's Dakota Hudson getting the start for the Cardinals, 5-4 with a 3.72 ERA. Throw that out the window. He is very good here at Busch Stadium in his career, the Hyundai pitch arsenal.
Well, his key to this game is obviously going to be him, but the sinker, the slider gets him out of jams and ground balls. You don't see a lot of curveballs, and you don't see a lot of changeup, so he's going to try to keep the ball down, throw strikes.
9-0 loss for Don Mattingly and the Marlins last night. So overall they are 6 games below the 500 mark, just 14 wins on the road, 14-23, and 13 games out in the National League East behind the Mets. John Birdie at the top, then Jazz Chisholm Jr. is dealing with a sore back, sat out Game 1. Jorge Soler, Garrett Cooper, Jesus Aguilar, Avisail Garcia, Jesus Sanchez, Miguel Rojas, and Nick Fortes, the catcher tonight for Miami. John Birdie has a 24-game on-base streak. 388 on-base percentage during the 24 games. The second longest right now in baseball behind Kyle Schwarber. He's got 30 for the Phillies. He's had 18 stolen bases in the 24 games. Had another stolen base last night and leads the league at 22. And Mixon also an 11-game hitting streak, which is a career best for him at hitting .356 during those 11 games. 2 balls and no strikes as Hudson is working with the rookie Ivan Herrera here tonight.
Well, Danny, I was talking to one of their guys over there at on the TV with the Marlins, and this was kind of a little bit of a shock to me. And he was telling me that the thing with Birdie is that he's getting a chance to play. And I had to do a little research, and he said, yeah, he's stolen some bases in the minor leagues. He stole 270 bases in the minor leagues.
Oh, yeah.
He had years of 23, 35, 50, 40. So he can run, and he's saying the difference is he's getting a chance to play with some injuries, and he's making the best out of it.
He primarily had been just a bench guy, a role player, can play all over the infield, but he's at third base tonight. He played second base last night with Chisholm on the bench. And from 2-0 now to 2-2 on John Birdie. Right down the middle and a strikeout of Birdie. He didn't like it. Clearly, though, over the plate and a strike, and the first strikeout for Hudson. Round the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Goldie and Edmond, along with Sosa and Arenado on the infield. That's the trio in the outfield. Ivan Herrera is behind the plate. Again, Around the Horn presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Jazz Chisholm, his last 6 games, 4 extra base hits and hitting .421. You wouldn't know it looking at the body type. He's kind of got that Juan Pierre look to him. He's got 14 home runs. Very good power. They talk about his bat speed creating the power for Jazz Chisholm, and we saw him in a game at spring training. These 2 teams hook up a bunch, but had a grand slam against St. Louis and a no-doubter. 0-2.
Yeah, they really like this kid as far as on the field. They say sometimes the off-the-field antics can get in his way, and I think that's one of those things that, as you get older, you learn how to handle. Good player, just 24 years old.
And the 0-2 taken down and in. He's from the Bahamas. Not many players in the big leagues coming from the Bahamas. He came over from Arizona. And a high fly ball into right, battling the sun. Yepez is there to make the catch. 2 outs. It's got that long swing. This may have caught Ivan Herrera.
I think it did, because Jazz was looking back. Just enough. Thank you for the mask. Sure, it still doesn't feel good.
Well, how about this? The Cardinals have Carlson in center, Yepez in right, Brendan Donovan is in left. He's had 54 innings in left field. And it's a Cardinals team that's just a half game out of first place, minus Jack Flaherty. Tyler O'Neill on the IL a couple of times, so they've been hit with the injury bug, but yet finding a way.
Got to keep going.
Well, 1 pitch now, 0-2 on Jorge Soler, the MVP of the World Series a year ago with the Atlanta Braves. And we'll see the Braves coming up on the next road trip. The 0-2 pitch. So they want to stay away from Soler. He was hitless last night, 0 for 4. Bounced into a double play in the 8th inning in the major league debut of James Nail, which was fun to see. The 1-2. Last night was just a fun ball game. The home runs hit. Goldie number 299. Yepez a couple, but then having those major league debuts. And the 2-2 pitch. So from 0-2 to a full count. It's one of the things with Hudson you always watch is just command. He's walked 35 this year. He struck out with 1 year tonight, 42. And Soler hits a high fly ball out to Yepez in right. He's there to make the catch. Paul Goldschmidt coming up for St. Louis. It's sitting on 299 home runs. His 19th home run of the season last night. Tommy Edman at the top. Then Dylan Carlson moves up ahead of Goldie, the switch hitter. And then it's Arenado, the cleanup man. Juan Yepez, 3 home runs, 6 runs batted in the last 2 games alone. Albert Pujols will serve as the designated hitter. Brendan Donovan, Edmundo Sosa, and Ivan Herrera. This is the lefty Braxton Garrett, entered this season as the Marlins number 11 prospect according to MLB.com. First round selection, 7th overall by Miami in 2016. And the first pitch taken down and in. Hyundai pitch arsenal with the left-hander Braxton Garrett.
You can see, I mean, I think these guys all, obviously fastball, slider, curveball, it's just what they do with it. And I like looking at guys like this, cross-firing lefty, doesn't throw real hard. He's going to really rely on location and a little bit of trickery, Danny, just a little trickery. Big breaking ball right there, miss. You can see he's really cross-firing, so that if he comes inside the right-handed hitters, it's going to come in at a hot angle. At a hot angle.
2-1 pitch and a strike. He's out of Florence High School in Florence, Alabama, and committed to play at Vanderbilt, but then became the 7th overall pick and said, thank you very much, I'll cash a check and turn pro. Chopped left side, charging on the play. Birdie gets it on the short hop and a smart play. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Soler, Sanchez, Garcia, the outfield. Birdie, Rojas, Chisholm, Aguilar along the infield, and Nick Fortes behind the plate. So the sun field for Garcia. Now Dylan Carlson, who was 2 for 3, head-to-head with Garrett.
I love it. He's out there saying, I can't see. He doesn't have any sunglasses on.
So 1 out and nobody on, and a pitch taken inside. Carlson, this side of the plate, hitting .333. Couple of home runs. We're talking about it last night, Jimmy. The swing from this side of the plate for both he and Tommy Edman, pretty good.
Yeah, it's these two guys, they don't lose a thing when they switch sides. You would think usually left-handers would hit more. They would hit more on that side, they'd be better, but these guys could do some damage on both sides, and I think sometimes the right-handed, both of these guys can be better. I think they just have more of a polished swing.
That's what I think too. It just looks
Kinda
a little
shorter,
bit smoother.
a little bit crisper, yeah.
Not fighting it as much.
You know what's funny is both guys left-handed kind of pull off a little bit, go around the ball at times. Right-handed, they both kind of dive and really yank.
Hit down the right field line and out of play. Cardinals have some pretty good numbers against left-handed pitching. Edman, Carlson, along with Pujols and Donovan, all hitting above 300, and Goldie, he's in another league, hitting .451 against left-handed pitching this year. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and the next.
Not a good feeling when you're out there with your bare hand trying to block the sun. And find yourself some shade and stay in it.
See, Garcia was motioning to Sanchez, center fielder, saying, I can't see.
Yikes.
Watch out. Don Mattingly in there, Mel Stoudemire Jr. Garcia right there, maybe talking to the bullpen of the Cardinals, saying, hey, I can't see. Sometimes guys will do that.
He's talking to himself right now, saying, please don't hit the ball to me. Please.
And the 3-2 pitch, a swing and a miss, and the first strikeout for Braxton Garrett, and it brings in Goldie. Stan the Man, Gary Gaetti, Jimmy Ball Game, my partner Albert Pujols, Troy Gloss, all in a Cardinal uniform, hit home run number 300 of their outstanding careers. And Goldschmidt looks at a strike on the inside corner. He's 7 for his last 12 with 2 home runs. Hitting .409 here at home. 0-2. A shift on the left side of the infield. And the 0-2 pitch to Goldie. Struck him out, elevated a fastball. And the Cardinals go in order here in the bottom of the first. After 1 inning, there's no score. Hayes.
Danny Yepez had a monster game last night. Had a 3-run homer and a 2-run homer. Yepez says credit the second homer to Albert Pujols. Yepez told me before the second one, Albert pulled me aside and said, "What's your plan?" Yepez told me, I said I was looking for a certain pitch. Albert said, "No, look for the cutter. You'll hit it out to left center." Yepez says, so I looked for the cutter, and Albert was right. That's the perks of having legends on my team. Danny, that one earned a hug for Albert from Yepez.
It is pretty amazing, thank you, Jimmy, that you have these guys around and their knowledge is second to none.
How about shocker? He was right. Like
he's so smart. Waino calls Yepez Albertcito.
little
Albert. And the 1-2 pitch tied him up. And a foul ball off the bat of Garrett Cooper. The ball just exploded in on the hands.
Great pitch right there. That pitch will be in his head for the rest of the game. You get a fastball in like that as a hitter and you get jammed that bad, you do not want that to happen again.
Here's a 1-2 off the plate. Hudson, a strikeout looking birdie to start the game, then a pair of flyouts to right. Garrett Cooper 3 for 3 last night, his 6th 3-hit game of the year. And the 2-2 lined into left field. He's swinging a hot bat right now. He's hit safely with that base hit in 18 of his last 20, and 386 the average, and on the rise here in the month of June. Jim Edmonds Toyota, key to the game.
Well, for me, it is work quick and throw strikes so you can use your defense. Get the ball on the ground. He does a good job of throwing sinkers down in the zone, and you hope that he can do that tonight. Get some balls, some atom balls hit at guys on the infield, turn some double plays, keep his game short and quick.
It's been 14 double plays turned behind Hudson on the ground. That is tops, along with Kyle Wright of Atlanta, in Major League Baseball. Matter of fact, he's had a double play turned in his last 4 starts.
You know, the one thing with Cooper there, you throw that ball inside, the next couple better be way in there again or away.
Arenado backing up and a turn. Wow, what a double play again. That is just not that easy down at third. The guy is ridiculous.
Well, most people don't even try to throw that ball once they start backpedaling. They think, I'm just going to go to first, get the out. Or some guys will charge it and come up with a middle hop, but he just catches it. And I tell you what, Danny, too, the other part of that game is he's so smart, but the part of him that is smart is he knows the second baseman doesn't have to worry about getting beat up. He knows that if he just gets the ball over there on time, guy can't slide into him. I'm telling you, 5-10 years ago or whatever it was, he probably wouldn't throw that ball over there as often as he does because he wouldn't want his second baseman to get hurt.
So the double play off the bat of Jesus Aguilar, and now it's Avisail Garcia. Went 1 for 4 last night.
Think about how many times we've been watching games when you just, for your viewing knowledge, you would think, oh, don't throw that ball to second. And then you realize, oh, he's got plenty of time.
Well, you're going to hang the second baseman out to dry.
He's going to get killed.
Hal McRae is the one that comes to mind for me, the hitting coach for a while here in St. Louis. You and I were looking at videos the other day, and I said, hey, call up Hal McRae. And it looked like it was a play out of The Naked Gun.
Yeah,
where the guy, he's coming in to just
he just put
him in left field.
He didn't even hit the dirt. All he did was bend over and keep running. And then Al said something about Reggie Smith, I believe.
Yes.
He used to be able to, really had the guts to go in there and slide like that. And that's the way you're taught to play.
I miss that aspect of the game. Then again, I don't have to turn two.
Yeah, that's true.
And the home plate collision, another part of the game that's been eliminated. And to an extent, good old-fashioned argument too, because of replay. And the 1-2 is swing and a miss, and strikeout number 2 for Dakota Hudson. So leadoff base hit erased on the double play. Garcia strikes out 2 tonight for Hudson. Home half of the second coming up. The Phillies that day, 10,000 kids ages 15 and younger take home a Yadier Molina tank top presented by Mercy. It's got Yachty on it, and get yours at cardinals.com/promotions. Well, John Birdie, not sure if he moved to second here potentially, and that is Eric Gonzalez. We saw him late in the game last night. So Gonzalez now is your third baseman, and Nolan Arenado at the plate. So Chisholm is out. Mentioned that Chisholm had been dealing with a sore lower back, and the versatility of Birdie puts him at second base. 1 pitch to Nolan Arenado, 0-2. Certainly not what, at this point, Don Mattingly needs early on in this game. And the 0-2 pitch, hammered out to left, hooking, and foul. Boy, did he jump on that pitch.
Some loud contact the last 3 nights. Wow.
Arenado with 3 home runs and 5 doubles in his last 12 games. One ball and 2 strikes. And the next by Garrett, fouled back. Garrett tore his UCL 4 games into his pro career. That was in 2017. He had Tommy John, and he lost nearly all of his first 2 pro seasons and debuted in the big leagues shortened season of 2020. And a base hit for Nolan Arenado. Jimmy, the Marlins in 2020 had 20 guys make their big league debut. 20 in the 60-game season. MLB record over the team's first 60 games. Remember how hard they were hit with COVID, and so they had to call up everybody. They got stuck in Philly for a while, their team hotel. Cardinals went through it too. A lot of teams did, but the Marlins just got hammered by that. But 20 different guys had to come up
yeah, that's
and take a spot.
Think about that too. Only with a 40-man roster, there had to be some forgiveness and some serious movement.
There's Juan Yepez. Foul back.
Wow.
A little smile for Albert.
Kick out of it. They probably told him to go up there and be ready to hit. First pitch, going to challenge you. And now he's saying, okay, heads up for the curveball and the changeup. Good luck with the view.
And the 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Albert Pujols on deck with a lefty on the mound, so gets a start tonight at designated hitter. Remember talking to Don Mattingly about the 2020 season, and he said, Dan, literally I was meeting players on the field that we had just picked up. Hadn't ever spoken to them. They weren't in our organization. We had just signed them and brought them in. I mean, could you imagine that?
No, and at the big league level too, it's almost like unfair to even think that you're going to try to manage a group of guys like that.
And the Marlins made it into postseason play in 2020.
They had a nice shot of the outfield there, and you could see in the background. I would think still, the way this grass is out there, that it would be tough for a lefty on a righty right now, just enough to make it tough to see spin.
0-2 pitch.
Still see a piece of the backdrop in the light. Some of it's in the shade, but that angle sometimes for the lefty, and that even in spring training, I always felt like if a right-hander was thrown to me in spring training and he was off the side of the mound a little bit, he could get out of that smaller batter's eye. It'd make it hard to see.
Let's see, Pujols maybe timing him up as he sits on deck, and
good take.
That's taken for a ball inside, and now it's a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes.
How if you think about this, if you're Yepez, how are you not looking over at Albert every pitch and like looking for like, what do you think? What do you think? Like, it's almost got to be a distraction in a good way, though. Could you imagine if he was over there telling him, okay, here comes the slider, here comes this, here comes that.
Well, can you imagine the crash course that Yepez is
getting every day? Yes.
It's awesome. Let's see, he's very spread out now with 2 strikes.
Believe me, Albert got the same thing in the outfield when he first came up with me.
2-2 pitch, fouled back. We have young fans that don't remember the time when Albert came up and he played third, he played first, he played left, he played right, and all he did was hit, hit, hit. 7th pitch coming up.
See Albert staring at the pitcher, trying to pick up anything.
In a full count. Right now, Yepez second in homers among rookies. He's got 9. Jack Sawinski with 12 for Pittsburgh. Runner at first, Arenado, and the 3-2. Here it comes. Struck him out. 3rd strikeout by Braxton Garrett, and it brings in Albert Pujols.
Okay, right there. I'll take that take. I'll take that over flying over or out of control and swinging at that. That ball that he threw to him earlier came straight down and wasn't a strike, and that time it just cut across and caught the edge. So sometimes you just get fooled.
Since 2020 against left-handed pitching, Albert's hitting .281. This year, .317. 2 extra base hits away from tying Stan the Man.
Heads up right here if this is in the strike zone. Oh.
Goes after the first pitch, and when he's done that, he's had success. Home run, 5 RBI, and a .571 average. 683 home runs for Albert Pujols. The shift on the left side of the infield. Outfield is straight away, and the 0-1 pitch to Pujols. A ball and a strike.
That's that breaking ball right there I was talking about. You know, he's thrown a bunch of those that haven't finished, and then the one to Yepez caught something and really jumped down and in, and not just down and away, and fooled them. But like I said, I'd take that. I would take taking a good pitch over swinging at a bad pitch anytime.
And the 1-1 pitch to Albert. Missed in, says Laz Diaz, our home plate umpire tonight. Crew chief Chad Fairchild down at first. Eric Backus at second. Trip Gibson at third. 2 balls and 1 strike. And the next, Albert hits a bullet. Birdie, the backhand, a flip, and a double play. A tremendous double play. Birdie starts it. And the turn by Rojas. The shift pays off this time.
This is ridiculous.
4-6-3 on the double play. 106 miles per hour off the bat. The glare that comes off the sunshine and then the building. Certainly that could be a little bit distracting for any player trying to hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. By the way, Pujols, that was the 419th career double play he's grounded into. 106 miles per hour off the bat as Birdie made a terrific play on the backhand.
Probably the hardest hit double play of his career, and probably one of the best plays that you're going to see turning into a double play.
And it's a count of 1 ball, 1 strike on Jesus Sanchez. Miguel Rojas on deck, and then Nick Fortes. The Marlins last night, it was their 5th shutout loss of the season, yet they had runners on in the first 5 innings of the ballgame. Adam Wainwright, though, stopped that. Waino was excellent again last night, struck out 9. The pitch way in. So again, Albert with the shift didn't deal with this when he first came up. That's a base hit. But Birdie, a great play, and then to Rojas, and they turn 2.
That's a base hit, first and third. If it's not hit too hard. Jeez.
Sometimes you tip your cap. It's just a terrific play. The 2-2 pitch, taken high.
See, I think for me, when I watch Albert's leg kick, I think he got into that, right? The Dodgers talked him into that, and the ball off the bat, that's great. But I think without the leg kick, he gets underneath that ball and hits it in the gap. And that's the one thing I think sometimes you fail to realize or lose is with that leg kick, you don't have as much time to get your back knee down, if you know what I'm saying, and get underneath balls. You're just kind of swinging at line drives now, which I get, I love. Shoot, hit the ball 106 miles an hour more often. I'm with you, but I also think too that, you know, his old stance and him getting underneath balls is not as often, and partly because it's hard to do both. You know, when he was more spread out, I really think that he can get down in the zone a little bit more and get underneath and elevate. And I think on stay on some sliders away. So you got to give to take to give, I guess, is kind of the moral of the story here. And I kind of feel like I'd like to see him do both.
And the 3-2 hit into the gap in right center. Jesus Sanchez to second base, and he will stop there with a leadoff double. That'll be the second hit for the Marlins tonight. Let me ask you this though, Jimmy. By having the leg kick at this part and stage of Albert's career, does this allow him though to generate a little bit more power because of this leg kick? And you said they got him to do that, and he's not the same guy he was 10 years ago, so that's a way to get it going a little bit better.
I mean, I think he does that on his own anyways. When he's expecting a fastball, he'll throw that leg kick out there. He did it when he was the great Albert Pujols, so now he's getting older. I think it's kind of the way they talked him into doing that to get some more bat speed. But I also think that you could see at the very end how his body went down. He realized he had to get down there to get underneath that ball. He just didn't get there in time. Nothing's wrong with hitting the ball the way he did it. I just feel like he hasn't been able to elevate as many pitches that he had in the past. And I'm not even talking about when he was here. I'm just talking about in general over his career.
And now a 1-0 pitch to Rojas. Had a hit last night. I would be fascinated to be inside Albert's brain when he's looking at video. What is he staring at? What is something that he wants to look at that he's picking up? Because sometimes, and coaches will say this, guys look at video, they don't even know what they're looking at.
That's true. It is true. And sometimes You know, he might be just looking at pitch sequence and where his body was positioned, or he might be looking at where the contact point was with the inside the strike zone with the bat. Like, did I let the ball get deep enough, or how do I get underneath that ball? And like, I guarantee you what he's looking at is, how did I not hit that ball into left center field seats? And so he's going to look at every different angle that he can, if that's what's going on, to see. Or he could just be looking at pitch sequences and getting ready for the next at bat. I tell you what, if I'm looking at that and I'm him right now, I'm like, okay, well, I just hit that ball as hard as I could possibly hit it. Why did I not elevate that? Is there something I'm missing? And if not, I'm just going to move on to the next at bat.
It's tough to be frustrated when you hit a ball that hard.
Yeah. I like that view we had from the side where you could see kind of it's almost like he made contact and then realized he needed to go down a little bit lower to get to it. And he kind of hit on top of it a little bit.
And a 2-2 pitch. Base hit into right. It's fair. Inside the right field line off the bat of Rojas. So back-to-back doubles. This is where Hudson has been very good pitching out of trouble this year. Came in the opposition just a 170 average with runners in scoring position. And to take it even further, Jimmy, an astonishing stat here, but since last season, Miami, and they don't win many here recently against the Cardinals. That's only their 7th hit with a runner in scoring position since last year against the Cardinals. They came in hitting .095, and they're now 7 for 64. They were 0 for 4 last night. That's amazing.
Well, I think that part of that has to do with they don't do well with the change or the breaking ball, right? And we talked about this a couple years ago. Guys that drive in runs can hit off speed, because that's primarily what you get attacked with when guys are in scoring position. If you can't hit a breaking ball, you are going to have a hard time hitting with guys in scoring position.
So back-to-back doubles. Now Fortes, as Rojas gets a sliding mitt, and also, as we've talked about before, he's able to take a pizza out of the oven.
That irritated the Cardinals bench right there.
A 1 pitch and a base hit into center. Charging will be Dylan Carlson. The wave and Rojas, and the throw to the plate is cut off by Goldie, and it's 2-0. 3 consecutive hits to start this 3rd inning.
All of a sudden, Dakota found the middle of the plate. It was like I was saying earlier with Cooper. You go in there hard and you wake somebody up. You have to get back in there. It's just a hanging slider right here. Cutter. But when you go in there and you establish that fastball, you either have to go way back in there again, or you have to get off of the plate around it, because you've now woken up the hitter. And when you miss down the middle, they're thinking you're coming back in. They're trying to speed up, and they're swinging harder and harder, thinking they got to get there earlier. And so when you miss, you've got to be either away and down or just out of the zone completely.
And a pitch taken by John Birdie back to the top of the lineup. Started at 3rd, moved to 2nd. Called out on strikes first time up. Back-to-back doubles, a single, and a 2-0 Miami lead. Cardinals turned a double play. That was in the 2nd. Arenado backhand gets the speedy Birdie. And again, not an easy play, but off balance throw, and gets the out.
Looked like Birdie wasn't even running hard. It was like, almost as if like, I'm out. I know who's over there at 3rd. Thought he'd be down the line a lot farther. It's such a great play.
The quick transition out of the glove. Man.
You see a lot of guys make that play and fumble for the ball. And you fumble one time, you're safe.
So here's Eric Gonzalez instead of Chisholm, who hit in the 1st inning and flied out to right. And Gonzalez pops one foul out of play. The most outs above average by position. This is why we say don't walk anybody. And you know they're not trying to, but man, you've got some good defense behind you.
Well, I think the biggest thing for Nolan is he doesn't panic. And so the transfer has to happen nice and smooth because he knows he has time, and he knows good players think about that. Catch the ball and throw it. I can't do anything else. If I can catch the ball, get it out of my glove and throw it on the run, on target, he's out. And you never see him rush, and that's why you don't see him bobble the ball a whole lot. A lot of guys, the game speeds up on them. Their minds speed up. They think the guy's running further than they are. You know, you kind of lose that court awareness of where everyone's at, and you start to rush and you start fumbling.
0-2 pitch off the plate, and it's 1-2.
Happens a lot at second base. It happens a lot on sac flies, or when you see outfielders charge to throw guys out at bases. Everyone tries to go too fast.
1 out and a runner at second, and the next to Gonzalez. So left on their bench, they've got the backup catcher tonight, Jacob Stallings, Brian Anderson, and Brian De La Cruz, all right-handed batters. Pitch number 22 coming up in this inning for Dakota Hudson. And the 2-2 after a long look. That's hit out of play. Well, we have a moment. Quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Want to deposit your birthday check right from your phone? Don't waste your wish. You can send money, check your balance, and yes, take care of those checks in a snap. All with the Great Southern mobile app.
2-2 pitch. Little flare into shallow right, and backing up Tommy Edman. Fortes, who had the walk-off hit for the Marlins on Sunday, and here an RBI single, is back to the bag at second.
Like that adjustment right there Dakota just showed. He threw the breaking ball, the pitch before, and hung the heck out of it, and then came back with another one and made sure he got it down and away. You throw that hanging breaking ball to this guy, you're not getting it back.
Jorge Soler. Remember, he began his pro career with the Cubs, growing up in Cuba. He was already so tall by around 9 or 10 that his dad said that people did not believe his age. His dad also said he always wanted to play Major League Baseball. So in 2011, Soler, at the age of 18, left Cuba on a boat with his father to pursue his baseball dreams, and a year later signed a deal for 9 years, $30 million. 9 for $30 million. And picks up an RBI base hit here. Fortes will score. And it's 3-0. 4 hits in the inning. And with that, Mike Maddox comes out to visit. Soler was called up at the age of 22. Pretty amazing that here's a young man that escapes Cuba, becomes a World Series MVP. And the only other World Series MVP from Cuba was Livan Hernandez back in 1997. Did it with these Marlins.
Was that the year he had that good strike zone working, or was that in another year?
That was the year. It was crazy.
Was that Eric Gregg?
Eric Gregg behind the plate. Anything near the plate was a strike.
It defined near from what I watched and what I can remember.
One side or another. It really was.
It's only close and hand grenades and horseshoes.
Now, being honest about it, it wasn't quite well, some of them were a foot, but consistently a half a foot off the plate. Called everything a strike. And the best was
balls out there at the minimum.
Jimmy, the best was the reaction of the hitters. I mean, they would just like put their shoulders, slump,
walk back,
bat down, start laughing, then get mad. Then the dugouts are screaming. Oh. It was unbelievable. Do you know Eric Gregg?
No, I don't even think he was only. That might have been one of his last years. I only played about 4 or 5 years when he was around, and we, had the schedule that we might have next year. So we were around so much. You didn't see all of the umpires, I felt like, back in the day.
Well, remember, you had American League and National League umpires.
Even when we went to that, and that was what was that, 97? That was the start of, or right after the start of interleague. So you started to see more of the guys, but yeah, you didn't see. I think they still kept their their leagues a little bit.
To Tommy Edman at second.
I thought it was cool to see all those old umpires that you've been watching on TV your whole life.
For sure. 3-0 Marlins midway through 3. To Busch Stadium, buy and manage game tickets, unlock offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
Danny, I just pulled up a little footage of Livan Hernandez and Eric Gregg, and I think you were misleading the public. I think a foot was generous. I think there was a couple that might have been 2 feet.
How about the reactions from the hitters?
I've seen it before, but I've never seen it like that. And that's, I think the last one they showed was a breaking ball, and it had to finish a 1.5 feet outside. I can't imagine where it started. But that's the thing, you know, it's funny, even watching that video, you see what that kind of stuff can do to a hitter, because a couple of the guys were diving so bad that they were taking pitches right down the middle. And that's what hitting's like. You start anticipating certain things, it'll throw you off for a fastball right down the middle.
And I give Livan Hernandez a ton of credit, because a left-handed batter like Donovan, he would just paint about a half foot outside, and he got every call, it seemed like.
There were pitches further out than that.
Oh yeah,
but they were coming from a righty.
But he just kept going there.
Why not? They should fine you if you threw the ball over the plate in that game.
A 3-1 pitch to Donovan. Now 3-2.
That angle right there, that angle lefty coming across his body like that.
Cardinals, though, they love Donovan's at bats against lefties. Now he strikes out here, but even in the minor leagues, he had good numbers.
That arm angle right there is tough. It's coming from behind your head, and you know you're trying to pick a side of the plate. You're trying to pick up or down, and you got to pick one or the other. And sometimes that ball just gets on you, and you saw the strike 3 swing right there. It's just like you're thinking maybe middle in, maybe breaking ball, and then down and away, no chance to pull the trigger.
First plate appearance of the homestand for Edmundo Sosa. Seen him as a pinch runner, hitting 188 this season. He's 2 for 2 with a run batted in against this lefty. You know, we forget Edmundo Sosa was the starting shortstop last year in the playoff game against the Dodgers. He was awfully good down the stretch.
How about this guy? He's still just 26 years old too. I mean, this team is still so young.
And an 0-2 pitch. Sosa backhanded. Gonzalez stretch. Got him. Terrific play. Marlins playing some very good defense here in this ball game.
Nice play by Gonzalez, but Aguilar also at first base. It looked like from up here he almost gave up and realized, I'm just going to stay on the bag as long as I can, and if I have to come off last second, right before that play comes into frame, he almost kind of went after the ball and then realized maybe not. Nice job, first base.
It's their second fine play that they've made. They had the double play off the bat of Pujols, and then moments ago off the bat of Sosa. Here's Ivan Herrera. Against lefties, he was hitting .324 at Memphis. So getting a little run here. See if they can get some traction behind the plate. 2 outs and nobody on. Garrett has struck out 4. And 1 ball is lefty infield. That was the base hit to left by Nolan Arenado. 9th place batter Ivan Herrera, the 1-1. Took something off it, and it's 1-2.
It's a good breaking ball right there. It's almost like he's got 2. He's got 1 he can throw and have it come straight down 12-6. And that crossfire right there, I think makes that sidearm a little bit breaking ball break way more straight across. That's a tough pitch to barrel up because it's just coming diving at your feet.
And that'll be 5 strikeouts. First time through the lineup. Coming up, a special guest with Jim and one of the all-time great right-handed pitchers in the history of baseball, the Rocket. 3-0.
He had a nice rooting section. His dad Mike is here. His mom Liz is here, and his godfather is some guy who won 7 Cy Young awards. But we're going to start with Mike. How proud of you are you of your son?
Well, you know, I know for him, you know, it's a dream come true. All the work, everything that it takes, you know, and for me, because I played, I'm like proud of every kid that gets to the big leagues because I know what it takes to get there, and especially in today's with all the analytics and everything, you just can't replace makeup and the drive that it takes for you to believe in yourself. So we're really proud for him.
And you should be. Mom nervous watching him go out there for the first time?
Not really nervous, more confident, because I know he can do it. I know he can do it.
That's awesome. All right, so Roger Clemens is a godfather, so how do you know Connor?
Known Connor since he was a baby. I went to high school with Liz, and I grew up pitching against Mike in high school. We won the national championship at Texas. And Connor and my youngest, Cody, who just got his call up, which is really cool in the same year, since they were knee-high, they've been running around playing ball, so it's great to see both of them get their opportunity in the big leagues.
Cody just got called up by the Tigers, but what's it like for a veteran guy like you who had been around baseball, done it all, to see the young guys get their opportunity?
Yeah, I'll echo what Mike said. We know how hard it is, and it looks fun and easy up here, but it's not. It's very hard, and you have to have can't teach confidence and stuff these boys go through. So just real happy for them, and I texted Albert and told him, look after for that kid. He'll run through a wall for you.
Albert's great with the young players. All right, so you've had some good moments against the Cardinals, some not so good moments against the Cardinals. What was it?
I didn't hear you.
You had plenty of good. You had plenty of good moments against the Cardinals. 2003 Yankee Stadium. You get career win number 300, career strikeout number 4,000. What do you remember about that?
It was special to get it in the house that Ruth built as a Yankee against a historic team like the Cardinals. Super special. Coming here, like I said, playing in the playoffs here. These fans are unbelievable here in St. Louis, and it was just a great time, a great atmosphere, and that's what you love as a player and as a pitcher, to be on center stage with some very knowledgeable fans.
Last thing, we see Waino still pitching at such a high level. Does he amaze you too?
Yeah, he can do it till he's 45. I tried it. I retired and unretired a couple times, but as long as they take great care of themselves and they're passionate about it, and heck, he's going more than 4 innings too, so that's always a plus.
He's been great. You guys have been great. Roger, Liz, Mike, thank you for the time. We wish the best of luck to Connor going forward, and to Cody as well.
Thank you very much.
Danny, take it away.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. Great interview, and that is popped back foul off the bat of Sanchez. So Mike, the dad of Connor Capel, he pitched in 49 major league games with the Cubs, Milwaukee, and Houston. And as Jimmy mentioned, those two teammates growing up, Roger Clemens and Mike. 2020, Capel played 27 games for Team Texas of the Independent League, and that was managed, by the way, by Roger and Colby Clemens. Roger Clemens, by the way, too, third all time in strikeouts, 4,672, and 354 wins, 9th all time.
I mean, that guy, that was cool, by the way. And I know.
Great job, Jimmy.
I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. By the way,
so to speak,
the cat was nervous. There's no question.
Oh, I don't think so.
He was worried about getting Roger Clemens, and I'm telling you right now, Cat, that was awesome. And Rod, that is a class act right there. And how cool is that he's coming here just to see his godson going out of the way. His other son is in the big leagues. His son is in the big leagues, and yet he finds time to come here. And I'll tell you what,
it's good stuff.
You could probably take up the next 7 or 8 innings reading his stats.
We were there that night. You were on the field in which he got win number 300, strikeout number 4,000. Line to left, and the catch made. Sliding grab by Donovan. I think I was telling you the other day, I have a great picture that was taken by a team photographer where Roger is arm in arm with Edgar Renteria, and Edgar, they're both laughing. You can tell they were joking about something. And Edgar's got this. He's got 4 fingers up. He was strikeout number 4,000. And I remember
that was the next day at batting practice, I think.
It was. And that night, Roger went back out onto the mound at Yankee Stadium and grabbed the dirt and got bags of dirt from that historic night, and a night that we'll never see again. 300 wins and 4,000 strikeouts in the same game. And if memory serves correct, Jason Simatachi opposed Roger Clemens that night at old Yankee Stadium, and all the great history there.
I'm sure that Simo realizes now he had no chance in that game to win. It was meant to be.
It was meant to be against the Cardinals. And I think there may have been a delay prior to the game. It was kind of a rainy, nasty night in Gotham. Really did feel like Batman. You had the look of that.
It was not fun to face over and over and over. It felt like everywhere I went, he was on the other side.
Popped up right side, where he went to Houston, back to the Yankees. Houston.
Toronto.
Yep. He was great in Toronto when the Red Sox let him walk. I'll never forget watching the game, his first game back at Fenway. Duquette, the general manager, I believe at the time with Boston.
He was fired up, wasn't he?
Oh, man. He was throwing bullets, and he would stare coming off the mound, looking back at the GM box at Fenway Park. There's only 4 pitchers that have 4,000 strikeouts, and Clemens is one of them. Randy Johnson, Steve Carlton, and Nolan Ryan. Good stuff, Cat. The scoreless frame for Dakota Hudson.
Great stuff, Cat.
The best ERA right now in the National League at 1.95. Andre Palante 2-3. Hung a breaking ball to Nico Horner on Friday that proved to be the difference maker in the ball game against Chicago, but had 13 groundouts. The Budweiser What's on Tap, and our coverage begins at 6 tomorrow. The top of the lineup, and Tommy Edman. So first time through, Braxton Garrett with 5 strikeouts and 1 ball left the infield. Base hit by Arenado. Ripped down the left field line and fair into the corner. And Edman. An extra base hit. Boy, he was ready for that. Tommy Edman picks up his 12th double of the year and his 5th from this side of the plate.
Don't you just love when you talk about guys and their swings, and especially when they're switch hitters and then they go out there and do exactly what we're talking about? That ball was blistered.
There's Dylan Carlson, struck out back in the first inning. One way or another, move him over or bring him in, but the Cardinals need a run here. Get on the board.
Got to start scoring now. One at a time is fine. On the 4th inning.
Been out hit 6-2, and they trail 3-0.
The mindset, right? Like, you have to think of it in that way. It's like a little bit of a chess game. So what do I need to do to win this game? Well, what you need to do is take a breath, try to push across a run here, maybe another one next inning or the inning after that, and be within 1 or close to, in the 8th or 9th, and then, take it as it goes. But you can't get close if you don't start scoring at some point, obviously. But take it 1 at a time, not trying to get 2 or 3 all at once.
Cardinals 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position in game 1 of this series last night. And the 1-0 pitch, base hit out to left. Here comes Tommy Edman, and the Cardinals get on the board. Dylan thought about going for 2. He'll stop at first, and that makes it a 3-1 Miami lead. RBI number 19 for the Cardinals center fielder. Since April 22nd, and that's when he hit his first home run, the Kia player profile, he's picked up 19. April 22nd, that's 61 games that he's played in since then. 382. The 19 homers. He's driven in 63 in those 61 games. And he represents the tying run. Mel Stottlemyre Jr. out to visit.
I like what you said too. You're talking about those stats and 63, and it's only June 28th.
It's incredible.
You kind of measured stats a lot by All-Star break, right? And we're 3 weeks still in the All-Star break.
Yeah. And the Cardinals, and in particular, Paul Goldschmidt, destroying left-handed pitching. So overall, he's at 345, but 442 against the lefties.
The thing that gets me is look at the Boston Red Sox. You're going to come up with a sore arm if you're going into Boston, especially probably in Fenway where those numbers are all massive.
Well, tonight, game number 77 for the Cardinals. They're 42-34. 8 games above 500 here at home, so approaching the halfway point. And the first pitch to Paul Goldschmidt. Breaking ball and a strike. 7 for 17 this homestand. Struck out swinging back in the first inning.
So that breaking ball gets so big when he drops his arm angle that even Goldie right there, it's so far outside when it starts, he just gave up instantly. Good news is he just alerted him to probably his best pitch.
Kept in front by Fortes. And Carlson back to the bag at first. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Here in the home half of the 4th. The 1-1 instead of check on Carlson. 3 stolen bases. Cardinals with 54, second in the National League as a team.
I think the last 2 games, 3 games that I've done, now 4 games obviously with at home with you. We had Wayne Gretzky and now Roger Clemens, 2 of the games, both of their sports best. It's pretty cool for the fans to see.
And who knows, maybe a little history here tonight. 1 home run shy of 300. He would be the 6th player to hit number 300 in a Cardinal uniform.
Good time for it right here, wouldn't it be?
The 1-1 pitch to Goldschmidt. Long look, here it comes. Goldie hits it down the right field line. Deep, slicing, foul. One and 2 the count. The young fan's got the ice cream, and now he has a souvenir here at Busch Stadium. Thumbs up too. And the 1-2 pitch. Ooh. Let's get a pretty good look at him.
Keep seeing pitches. It was like Arenado's had last at bat. The more pitches he saw, the more the timing was getting closer. I almost felt there at the end he couldn't throw him anything that was going to fool him.
Carlson, your runner at first base. The 1-2. Grounded foul past Pop Warner, the Cardinal third base coach. Goldie also 1 home run shy of what will be his 9th season of 20 or more home runs.
That's incredible.
The 1-2. Carlson running. Pitch taken for a ball inside, and a stolen base easily for Dylan Carlson, number 4.
You think maybe they gave something away right there? He was gone.
A lot of that too is Pop Warner and
oh yeah
says, all right, we got a little tell on him, so if you see this, boom, you're off to the races. And that was an easy steal for Dylan. 2-2 the count. Arenado on deck. The next two, Goldie. Just a bit high.
How about that frame? You see where he caught it up above his head and he pulled it all the way down back, almost to like a low strike.
Video board has 2-2. I do believe, though, that is the right count at 3-2. And now they've just switched it on the board. So 3-2 pitch to Paul Goldschmidt.
I heard you.
And he'll draw the walk.
That's kind of see that coming after the stolen base, but I think you got to maybe get it a little bit closer, take the walk. But wow, you better be careful here, especially with nobody out. It's probably a smarter play to let him go to first base with the base open, but when you got no outs and you bring a guy like this up, you're going to have to start really paying attention to everybody now, because you get Nolan out, you still have Yepes and Pujols standing behind him. So a lot of work to be done for this young man on the mound.
8-pitch walk to Goldschmidt. Nobody out, 2 runners on. Arenado hits into a double play. 6-4-3.
Wow. Not what you wanted right there. That ball is crushed right at the shortstop.
Second double play turned by the Miami infield tonight. The other was off the bat of Albert Pujols. Here's Juan Yepes. The Cardinals collectively, the rookies, 3rd in baseball in average. This is all of baseball. 3rd in hits. The rookies top 4 in extra base hits. 3rd in homers. 2nd in OPS. And here's a big reason why. Juan Yepes struck out looking on a 3-2 pitch back in the 2nd inning. The Bounty quick stats, rookie leaders in homers, so 2nd in the National League, and he is 4th, tied with Jeremy Pena of Houston. 9 home runs off the bat of Juan Yepes.
Well, Bobby Witt Jr. Didn't he hit his first home run against us?
Yes.
It wasn't that long ago.
That's when Yepes made his debut against the Royals.
Oh, those guys both, man.
Shift on the left side of the infield. The 0-1 pitch. Inside corner, 0-2. Pujols on deck.
You see Yepes, he's feeling it. He's trying to unload on everything, and that's a pretty good take right there, but that ball's a strike. Got to remember what got you here, and that's trying to stay up the middle and taking the chances when you get them, but not all the time.
Big gap in right center, room on the right side of the infield. Aguilar very far off the line at first base. Right fielder is Garcia, pretty shallow.
Yeah, he has a big, huge gap in right center. He's going to try to go in here with a fastball.
0-2. Yepes, high fly ball, deep left. Soler back, just enough room up against the wall, and Juan Yepes foot or 2 away from tying this ball game. Sends us to inning number 5, and it's 3-1. Wainwright and Molina sucks. Cardinals.com/promotions. The 5th inning rolls in and showing bunt. Nick Fortes. He played at Ole Miss collegiately, and Ole Miss just won the national championship college baseball. And the 1-0. And then you've got a guy on the mound from Mississippi State. The 27-year-old Dakota Hudson. And the 2-0 pitch got in just enough. Hit softly to short. Sosa up with it. And now a quick word from Ryan Kelly.
Danny, the credit card bills never stop.
Pay them off with a cash-out refinance with Ryan Kelly.
Don't be afraid of the mailbox. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
John Birdie, top of the lineup, followed by Gonzalez. Official word, by the way, on Jazz Chisholm had to be removed with a sore lower back.
I think he's been battling that a little bit for a while.
Actually had that last road trip in Milwaukee working with you.
Carrying me to the stadium. You thought just carrying me to the stadium was bad. Then you have to carry me for 9 innings. I'm getting heavy.
See, now I could say that to you, Jim, because you like to have a little fun. But if I said that to others, I might be on my way out of the booth. And I'm not talking about going through the door, but maybe through the front.
Yeah, maybe you know, Brad would rather like give you a little competition back, but I just don't have it in me tonight.
You don't have it in you, do you?
You're right, though. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do.
I'll say this, though. You came in fired up to the booth tonight. You were fired up. And now you've calmed down. You have relaxed. You're settled in. Talking baseball.
A little too much baseball, a little too early for me today. Too many people in the booth. Actually, I guess it's not the booth. I guess it's the room, but.
Oh, it's a meeting room for everybody.
Yeah, it's. I think we need to extend the size of this. Maybe we can get some of our square footage back from the radio side.
I know what we're going to do.
Knock out the wall.
We're going to talk to John Rooney. We'll say, now, John, help us out here. And John's going to say, Dan, I hear you, but we really like this booth.
Yeah,
and not a chance.
Just put a door in the thing just so it's easier to get to like the actual food. And
by the way,
they do a good job taking care of us. But
I wouldn't blame John for saying that too.
No, you know, if they just put a TV on the ceiling, they all could lay down at the same time and do the game and still have room for about 16, 17 others.
John Rick and claims they make it a lot of fun for us. The strikeout for Dakota Hudson, and that is number 3. Angels Arms. And Jimmy, I've been involved with Angels Arms off and on throughout the years. They do an amazing, amazing job of being able to place kids in homes, loving homes, and finding the proper place for these children to go to. And they've teamed up with the Cardinals and Fox Sports Midwest in giving back in honor before the game. The pitching in program. They care for children in the foster care system. Thank you to Angels Arms as Albert rolls it fair, and it will go 1-3 on the putout. That's frustrating off the end of the bat.
Yeah, you're hoping that it's going to roll foul. You know what? Sometimes it just kicks right, and sometimes it kicks left. It's the most bizarre thing in the world. See those balls that go out there in the grass and they start running back towards the field, and then others that just stay straight. Still one at bat, you just want to, like, you got to be kidding me, right? I waited an hour for that.
I would imagine as a DH, that's the frustrating part. Kind of like a pitcher, you got to wait. You have a bad start. You know, it's 5 days you're going to be back out there, and then as a DH, you get that one pitch, hit it off the end of the bat. Now you got to wait. That's no fun.
That's like, you know, when you read things for so long and you just throw out like the name of our old TV station versus our new one, or, you know, stuff like that just kind of flies out. You just don't even realize it.
Jimmy, I got to tell you, I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, I was saying, like, you know, sometimes I'll start to talk and forget where we're at with the Bally's and the Fox and Fox Sports Midwest, Fox Sports, Bally's Live Midwest. I mean, sometimes it just kind of comes out wrong. It's just like the spinning ball. You never know where it's going to go.
And a base hit out to left off the bat of Brendan Donovan. So you're saying you can just look right across the street and you got Bally Sports Live as a quick reminder.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with you. There it is, Jimmy. If you ever forget, there it is. Not only in the bottom little portion there of Ballpark Village, but then the big one right there.
Big red letters.
Yeah.
They must not be in black and white on that piece of paper then.
Oh, did I say Fox
It was
Sports?
brought to my attention.
No, I said Bally Sports, didn't I?
I don't know. I didn't hear it, but it was brought to my attention.
I said Fox.
That you made your first mistake of the year, and I just thought it was funny. You know what? You are such a professional, and you have carried me for, what, 7 years now, and I know.
Jimmy, that means a lot to me.
I can't believe your back isn't broken. And once in a while, it's been brought to my attention that you might have mentioned the wrong group, but it's okay because you're allowed that one mistake a year, and I think that might have been it. And you did such a nice job of it, I didn't even hear it.
I was more into the idea of the nonprofit Angels Arms.
I'm with you, and I was thinking the Angels.
Thank you, Tom Mee, for showing me that one at the wall right. That'll help too.
Black and white over there. See, maybe you can't see colors anymore. I was thinking Angels Arms, like that's you. You're heavenly by carrying me around. And
oh no.
And then I was thinking, and I didn't hear the mispronunciation of Bally's because it
was really just the wrong name. I said Bally's right.
It's like that movie with Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, and she just keeps saying FOX, FOX. Now it's stuck in my head. Fox Books. Never mind.
What movie are you talking about?
I forget. Is it We Got Mail? Something like that? I don't know.
Sleepless in Seattle?
Yeah, maybe.
That was a while ago, though.
No,
James.
it's FOX. It's now BALLY.
I was also thinking of my friend that runs the program, and maybe that's why I got sidetracked. Bess Wilfong, and she started that all on her own.
I think you know what? The main whole idea of this, pointing this out for you, is the fact that we can give this great thing a little bit more praise.
Angels Arms.
Yes. And like I said, all I was dreaming about was you lifting me up in Milwaukee and carrying me. Jimmy, I didn't hear you mispronounce Bally's and say Fox.
I must have.
Okay, we got a game to 2.
All right, then.
Let's get us back into this one.
The 2-2. Hammered down the left field line. Hooking. Foul. A rocket off the bat of Sosa. .105 miles per hour off the bat.
Clearly, we irritated Izzy because I see his name on my phone.
And the 2-2 pitch to Sosa. Base hit into left center. Donovan. He will score. That's all the way to the wall. Don't trip over your helmet. Sosa on his way to third. In there, the ball gets away, but not enough to score. Luckily for the Marlins, it stays in play. It's an RBI triple for Edmundo Sosa.
That's got to feel good. Blister a ball foul. It could have been a home run and then hit one fair triple. And I thought for a second we were going to get another Little League homer.
It's close.
It was really close. I mean, he just found the gap right here. We noticed earlier that they give away the gaps a lot, and this time they gave away the left center field gap. And there's no way this ball should be a triple, but it is. Nice job of base running by both guys, and Sosa's loving it.
Infield in. And a chance now for Ivan Herrera. Struck out back in the third.
This field is too big for the left fielder to be pull and the center fielder to be in right center and vice versa. I mean, it is just.
By the way, have you noticed how shallow the Marlins are playing as opposed to many of the other teams that come through here?
Well, I like the fact that the right fielder is playing shallow against maybe the bottom of the order, you know, but I don't like the fact that if you're going to play, I mean, you can't give away that gap that big. You just can't. The ball's going to go in that gap more than it's going to go down the line.
The 1-0 on the ground, and Sosa stays put. Big out. Well, that's a frustrating at bat for the Cardinals, and Herrera with the infield in, 1 out, and Sosa stays put. Now the Cardinals need a 2-out hit.
You know, I don't know if they had to take a good read or make the ball go through when you're at third base right here. Either way, but if it's read the ball, he just did a great job, because that's a sure out at the plate. And one of my biggest pet peeves is when you're at third base and they say, you know, you're going on anything, and usually it's a one-hopper right at somebody and you're dead. You're out halfway down the line.
Yeah.
You have nothing you can do about it. Try to get in a rundown. Hopefully the guy can go to second, but it's a bad feeling.
Pitch number 77 coming up. Activity now in the bullpen for the Marlins. Edman, a swing and a miss, grounded out to third, and doubled and scored back in the 4th inning. He's driven in 31 on the year. Another run scored for Tommy Edman tonight. He's among the league leaders, and with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year, he's hitting .320. Oh, 2.
What do you think he's going to throw next pitch?
That same pitch right there.
He's trying to get that slider underneath him, underneath the swing, and like you said all the time, that ball is tough to lay off, and it is impossible to foul off and make contact. It is just diving too hard down by your feet. If he hits that ball, he's going to hit it between his legs.
And an 0-2 pitch to Tommy Edman in the dirt. Interview back in 16. Garrett was asked about any mistakes he had made, what he learned from it. His reply was great. He said, in the 8th grade, I pitched against a player who is now a center fielder for Auburn. He hit probably a 500-foot bomb off of me, so I learned not to throw 80-mile-an-hour fastballs inside or even down the middle with guys that have quick hands. It's a good lesson.
Stays with you forever.
Edman, a base hit, and that'll tie it up. Tommy comes through. His 2nd hit scores Sosa, and we have a brand new game.
Well, there's a saying that always sticks with me, and it's don't give the other guy too much credit. And right now, that young man on the mound gave Tommy Edman too much credit. He should have pounded that breaking ball down and in until he fouled it off into his feet or pulled it down the line. He tried to sneak a fastball up, and that is just not a great pitch, especially when you get so much plate.
It was career hit number 399 for Tommy Edman. 150th career run batted in. And 2 outs and a runner at first. Shift here for Dylan Carlson. An RBI single that got the scoring started. Brought in Edman, who had doubled back in the 4th to start the inning. And Dylan with his stolen base. His 4th of the year.
There's a lot of things that could go wrong there, right there, and I guess maybe trying to make that pitch 3 times in a row, which is another saying, like, these guys are not that good that they can throw the ball in the exact same spot 3 times. But you got to at least try to get him to swing at that again. I mean, it's in his mind. You just got to make sure you don't hang it. And that ball coming down and in is, like I said, you can't put it in play fair. It's just too sharp of a breaking ball.
And the 0-1 pitch with 2 outs. Runner at first. Edman, good jump. Throw down to second. And Tommy is in there safely with stolen base number 19. 2nd stolen base for the Cardinals tonight. And a base hit could put them on top.
Tell you what, Nick Fortes can't do anything more. He got rid of that ball as fast as you can possibly get rid of it.
What a job by Tommy to stay on the bag. Now eventually came off, but by that time Birdie's glove is off the back.
I'm willing to bet that pop time right there is about as best as you can get, especially tonight during the course of all these games, and it wasn't even close.
So 19 steals for Tommy Edman. And the 1-1 pitch. 1-2.
A pitch again right there.
Well, Sosa with that triple snapped an 0 for 16. 6th career triple. And the first run he has brought in since May 27th, getting the start at shortstop tonight. On the bench for St. Louis, 3 lefties in Gorman, Newbar, Capel, and Kisner, your backup catcher. An account of 1-2 with 2 outs and a runner at second base. And Carlson lifts a high fly ball into deep right. That ball is down. It's a ground rule double, and the Cardinals have the lead. Garcia, we talked about it, playing shallow. That's over his head, and the Cardinals have their first lead of the night. It's now 4-3.
You can see Donnie's seen enough, and too many breaking balls right here. And this, if you're going to throw it, you got to throw it in. And what did he do here? Too much plate, and that is a great swing by Dylan Carlson. Look at him stay back and just literally, instead of trying to pull it, he tries to stay inside it and just loft it into right field. The ball was hit.
4 straight games with a double for Dylan Carlson. Don Mattingly going to his pen. It's 4-3. The reliever in. First time through the lineup. Braxton Garrett had 1 ball leave the infield, and he struck out 5. And then it rolled over to Tommy Edman in the 4th, and that's when trouble started for the lefty of the Marlins.
I think you combine guys seeing you the second time and maybe not being as sharp second time around. You can see every ball that was hit was a lot of plate, and if he kept making pitches, you can see the breaking ball was a tough pitch to work with, but made a couple mistakes with the fastball, a mistake with the breaking ball, and I said after a few pitches you've seen, you kind of get an idea of what's going on.
First pitch, ball inside to Paul Goldschmidt. He is struck out and walked. Cardinals are just a home run away from the cycle in this inning. 2 singles, double, a triple, and the 1-0 pitch to Goldie. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And pop with fastball slider, especially to righties. Throws a changeup, but not very often. See this pitch right here. Goldie thinks is down.
They bunch him in the outfield on the right side towards right center. Huge gap left center. And the 1-1 pitch to Goldschmidt. Pop last time out. Pitched on the 25th, so 3 days ago against the Mets, 2/3 of an inning. No hits, no runs, 9 pitches. Dylan Carlson, your runner at second base. The 2-1. Well, Carlson with that ground rule double, 10 of his last 14 hits have gone for extra bases. 7 doubles, triple, 2 home runs. And his ground rule double to right has put the Cardinals on top.
I think it's been quiet too. It's kind of been just sneaky, you know, little spurts. Been hurt, came back. It wasn't really like it got really hot, but all of a sudden it was just doing damage.
The 2-2. Goldie, little flare, shallow right, caught. No, it's dropped. Birdie had it, lost it. Run scores. 5-3 Cardinals. Normally the sure-handed John Birdie, and it may have hit the heel of the glove as he was going back. And it drops in, and it is a hit, ruled a hit. And it's 5-3 Cardinals.
I think watching the highlight on the big screen, he just jumped. He didn't need to. And when your head moves, you lose track of the ball. And you can see he just didn't catch it. You do 2 things when you jump. You jump to the ball, but right there he jumped and the ball just came short of where he was, and he just whiffed it.
So base hit and a run batted in for Goldie, his 65th, and now it's Nolan Arenado. He is singled to left and grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. Cardinals came into the inning down 3-1 and now lead at 5-3. Outfield is straight away.
A strange play at second, wasn't it?
Got to make that play.
Jumping, could have just ran underneath it.
Yeah. As you said, really no need to jump in that particular spot. Not sure how that's ruled a base hit, but Goldie will take it, and so will the Cardinals.
I was thinking when you said that, I was like, surely that's not a base hit, but I guess we'll take that. Yeah, I just think when you're running for a ball, you know, like I said this in the past, when you're really running for a ball, sometimes your head will start bobbing with your feet in the outfield, and it makes it hard if you're kind of running at an angle and you can't really stop it. You got to kind of slow yourself down. Same thing on the infield, and then all of a sudden you jump, and that just adds another element to it. And you could see, though, if you think about it, he stuck his hand up and then jumped, and his hand came up and the ball came down to the wrist.
The 1-2. That was the 27th two-out RBI for Paul Goldschmidt. It's tied with Seattle's Ty France for the MLB lead.
That's why, Danny, we talk about playing the outfield, you know, like the way Harrison turns. That's why I never did that. I just kept running because I always felt like the more I moved around, the more the ball would bobble up and down in my eyes. And I just tried to stay smooth. And if it took it over my shoulder, so be it.
Nice piece of hitting there by Arenado. Puts it in play and finds a base hit into center field. And that's now 4 consecutive two-out base hits for the Cardinals and extends the inning to Yepez. 2-hit night for Nolan Arenado.
This is some kind of hitting right here. This is like emergency swing. Got some of the barrel on it. Unfortunately, no shift, and that's a good old-fashioned base hit right there.
The Cardinals have 137 two-out RBI this year, tied with Toronto for the most in all of baseball. Those are backbreakers, those two-out runs batted in. So 2 on and 2 outs, Juan Yepez.
Especially when it bounces off the second baseman's glove.
I was shocked that yesterday was the first home run for Juan Yepez against a lefty. Really done a ton of damage against right-handed pitching.
You know, we did talk about him pulling off a little bit, and lefties will run that ball away from you, especially with the good lefties that have a little bit of run or a little sink. And righties will throw the ball that runs into you. So if you pull off, they run right into you. You can see that little open stance, and he stays open. You're doing him a favor by throwing him anything middle in. You have to make guys sometimes beat you away when they're opening up, and these guys, I don't know for what reason you want to still challenge people.
2-0 pitch. Yepez hits it to short, and a force play. Birdie at the bag. Big inning for the Cardinals. 6 hits. Sosa the triple. It brought in Donovan, and then the fun began with 2 outs. Tommy Edman, Dylan Carlson. Goldie with a little help with the defense of Miami. Fans coming out to the ballpark. And a beautiful night for baseball here in St. Louis. Temperatures very comfortable tonight. The Cardinals leading as Soler hits it high, far, and foul down the left field line. Jorge Soler, Gary Cooper, and Jesus Aguilar for Miami. Here at the top of the 6th. Soler is flied to right, and at a 2-out RBI single to right field. Back in the 3rd.
That dude is so strong, man. He just barely threw the bat at that ball. Ball went a long way, up and foul.
Well, Junior Fernandez was getting loose in the Cardinal bullpen. He continues to throw as Hudson approaches 80 pitches on the night.
be a big inning right here for Hudson. I think this is good for not only him but the team. Eat up this other inning. 5 is just not enough anymore in this league. You know, it's you got to see 6 and 7 and got to pride yourself on that as a pitcher. And I think he's on that verge, being there a lot.
We had the 3 consecutive starts in which he went 7 innings and then kind of fell back again, and now here tonight pitching into the 6th inning. Cardinals leading 5-3.
Got to match these guys right here.
See Michaelis Friday night, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Palante goes tomorrow, off day on Thursday, a travel day, and then St. Louis will head to Philly for 3, and then we'll see the world champion Braves beginning on the 4th of July. And the 1-2 pitch off the plate, 2-2.
Please don't throw that again. That's the one I said earlier today when he was hitting in the 1st or 2nd inning. I said, oh, don't throw him a hanging slider. He's one of those guys when you watch hit, you think that any pitch he could probably hit it out of the ballpark.
Popped up. Herrera will give it a look, and it's in the green seats. Now word from Tickets for Less.
Tickets for Less, for a better ticketing experience. Best seats, best prices, and no surprises at checkout.
Ball landed pretty close to Brad Thompson's season tickets in the green seats.
Yeah, right in the 2nd row, right there behind home plate. But it bounced so far, a young man leaned over the railing and made a great play.
There he is.
The guy next to him stood up, was 2 feet over his head, and whiffed it, and the kid didn't budge, went right in his glove. Great play.
That's the concentration that you speak of.
Good play right there by that young man, especially with all those big bodies in the way.
And he lost him in a leadoff walk. Not what you want. Put the tying run at the plate.
No, that's what happens. You do that, and you end up seeing the manager.
And so Ollie let Hudson start the inning, but that's going to be it. So 5+ tonight for Dakota. Junior Fernandez will come in relief of Dakota Hudson. 5-3 our score. The official car and truck of the Cardinals by BJC Healthcare, the world's best medicine made better. And by Budweiser, this Bud's for you.
I got somebody for you. Sorry, but sometimes you got to stop when Roger Clemens comes to say hi. Good to see you, my friend. Take care of yourself. Good luck to the kids.
Clemens.
How about that?
That's a big man. Wouldn't want to face that guy when he's on the mound. Turned around, he said, hey, turn around.
He was standing over the top. I said, you have to come in and say hi to Danny really quick. He came in.
I still remember in 05 the matchup with Chris Carpenter, Roger Clemens in September, and Chris outdueled him, and I think that won him the Cy Young that year. And it was just awesome. Great theater.
I'll tell you what, he was a warrior, man. I know I told you this story about the 3,000 and the 4,000 and the 300, but my first at bat, he threw me a fastball middle away and I hit it in the seats, right in this game in Yankee Stadium. So this is going on. He's going for 4,000 and 300, and I hit first pitch. I think it was the first inning for a homer. Next time I come up, he buzzes me.
Softly hit towards third. Arenado will get the lead man.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Nobody tries that. With the history of the game, you don't throw that ball, and he knows, and he has it in his head. You can throw that all day long without getting your second baseman hurt. Great play. Look at this. This is just like, there's no way he's throwing this ball to second base. And he just looks up and says, okay.
Well, Jimmy, a lot of times, as you well know, it's not even an option for some third baseman to make that play. They're just going to say, okay, I'm going to get the shore out going to first.
But anyway, so I hit the ball, homer, next at bat, buzzes me, and I kind of smiled at him a little bit like I figured so. And he yelled, "You didn't think I was just going to let you lean over the plate, did you?" Just like plain as day. We had faced each other 100 times before, but that's just.
Jimmy, I loved watching him.
Back in the day, he wouldn't have said anything, and then as he got a little bit older, he got a little bit more friendly, and you can see right now he just come in here, say hi, big smile, and it's awesome to see him.
1 ball and now 2 balls and no strikes. So after the leadoff walk and the only walk issued by Dakota Hudson, Ollie went and got him, and now it's Fernandez. By the way, Roger Clemens against the Cardinals was 4-1. 11 starts, 4-1. He allowed 3 home runs. You got him on that fateful night, 2003, and then he gave up 2 to Scott Rowland, and 1 that's pretty memorable down the left field line at the old Busch Stadium in Game 7. Roger Clemens against Jeff Suppan. I wonder who might win this game. Of course it was Soup. He really outpitched him. He pitched great.
Did it all the time.
Yep.
It was like Soup was just like kind of cruising as 500, and then you're like, hey, he's one of those guys. You know, people make fun of me for playing in big time games, or oh, the TV's on tonight. Soup was the same way. Like, you just tell him, hey, everyone's watching tonight. He'd go out there and throw a 2-hit shutout.
So he pitched in Game 7 there, and then in 06 he wins the NLCS MVP.
And he started that game in New York, right?
That's right. So the chain, I think, broke off the neck of the Cardinal right-handed pitcher. So they'll throw that out, make sure he gets a brand new chain.
Can't pitch without it.
3-1 pitch. Can they turn 2 here? Sosa, turn, double play. Cardinals turn, another double play. Good work by Junior Fernandez. At Busch Stadium, purchase of a theme ticket, take home a shark-inspired Nolan Arenado bobblehead courtesy of the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station, and tickets at cardinals.com/theme. So good work, Junior Fernandez, and now it's the home half of the 6th inning, and it's Albert Pujols. Grounded into a 4-6-3 double play, and then a little squibber off the end of the bat early in the second plate appearance for Albert in the 5th, and he's 0 for 2. First pitch to him. Double play was an outstanding double play turn by the Marlins, beginning with Birdie, and a ball that was well above 100 miles per hour off the bat. And again, the outfield is shallow. 0-2.
Not a big picture guy, but that would have been a cool picture with the 2 of us. And
why don't you go get him? I'll just handle this inning. You go find Roger.
I'll chase him down.
Yeah.
Well, he's got to probably be waiting for the elevator, because he had so many people with him that's not going to make it all in the elevator at once.
And an 0-2 pitch.
Then you sit down, he leaves, and you look on the big screen, and there's Ozzie Smith.
And that's what I was saying last night. I mean, imagine being a Marlins player. Oh, there's Roger Clemens on the video board. Oh, there's the greatest defensive shortstop in the history of the game. Oh, okay.
Well, that's how I felt when I first got here after leaving Los Angeles or Anaheim, because nobody came to visit us there. And then La Russa knew there's so many people in and out of the locker room every day. I was like in shock. I thought I was playing for the Dodgers. Like all of Hollywood would come in, and wherever we were, everyone in the music business and in Hollywood, and I mean, it's crazy how many Cardinal fans are out there from people now living in LA. And
can't remember who it was, Jimmy.
Look at that right there, obviously, and there's a lot of people to follow over the years, but it's been a lot of fun.
It was a tall right-hander say Jared Wright, but that's not his name. I can't remember where the Cardinals got early 2000s.
Jamie Wright.
Yep, there you go, Jamie Wright.
Jared was
with Cleveland.
Yep.
Now the Guardians, and there's the 1-0 pitch.
Jamie pitched in the playoffs for us.
Up the middle, backhanded by Birdie, and Donovan is on base. But the point I was going to make is that he got to the ballpark in his first day. He walks in the clubhouse, and it just happened to be one of those days, right, where you walk in, and he said, "I can't believe this." And I was scheduled to do an interview with him. He said, I'm sorry I'm a little late. I just met Stan the Man. I said, "Well, no problem." And he goes, "Well, then there was Lou Brock, and he was there. And then Bob Gibson was there." He met all three of those guys in one day.
They were probably all sitting in Tony's office. It was incredible. And the time we were in spring training and I was hurt, I was sitting on the training room table having a conversation with Parcells, Belichick, and Ron Wolf, which was the general manager of the Packers for all those years when they were great. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. I didn't even know who Ron Wolf was until he started talking, and then the history of the game started coming out with these guys. And I'm sitting in the training room by myself with these three guys. They were waiting to go watch the game. And I'm listening to this, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me right now. Two of the most legendary NFL coaches and probably one of the most legendary general managers in football history.
Way inside. And it's a ball and a strike. It was ruled an error on Birdie.
Told you that was coming, right? There's no way they had to let that be a hit.
Well, that was the error on the ball that Donovan just hit. So the Goldschmidt.
Oh,
yeah, that one stayed. The error on the throw there by Birdie. Hit and run. Grounded to short. And a flip over to first. And Donovan shockingly lost his helmet.
Great job by Donovan, though. Even though his helmet did come off, he recognized when he was stealing that the ball was hit on the ground, and he actually kicked it in another gear so he couldn't be doubled up. It's a pretty good job. Watch this. He's like, uh-oh. It's hard to tell at that angle, but he's a wild man. I love the way he plays the game. I don't know how he can keep it up for an entire season, but we'll see.
And now it is Herrera. He was up with a runner at third, one out. And the infield end back in the fifth and grounded out to short. Run didn't score, but then the Cardinals had 4 consecutive 2-out hits. And a pitch taken low. Also struck out swinging back in the third. Cardinals are 8 for 17 with runners in scoring position in the 2 games. And with 2 outs, they've done a lot of damage. 4 for 8. Here's a 1-1 pitch with Donovan, your runner at second base. 2 strikes on Ivan Herrera. And now a word from St. Louis Children.
St. Louis Children's Hospital, the only place where Washington University physicians have gathered from across the globe, discovering and developing life-changing treatments for kids.
I kind of was wondering about Herrera, and you look, he was a 280 hitter in the minor leagues, a couple of years above 300. But it almost seems like he's just a little intimidated up here, like he doesn't really have that. You know, you're not seeing the confidence level of the swing, a guy that can hit 280 in the minor leagues.
What a play by Rojas. The Cat has an injury update. 2 key guys pitching wise when we come back.
Impingement made his first rehab start tonight for Memphis. Steven pitched 2 innings, no runs, 1 hit, no walks, 3 strikeouts. He threw 28 pitches, 18 were strikes. The plan for Mats is to get rehab starts every 5th day. We're told he's likely to get a few more rehab starts as he builds up. Danny Jordan Hicks also pitching at Memphis tonight through 1 inning, gave up 1 hit, 1 run, struck out 1. He'll pitch again tomorrow. They want to see how Jordan does going back to back.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. And then you could see him potentially added. Hicks, the weekend series.
Well, that's good if they're already going back-to-back with Jordan, because that's a big, big sign.
Then all of a sudden it could drop down some other guys, meaning that Hicks could be your guy in your 6th or your 7th, or even back into games if need be. And that's a ball inside to Garcia.
99 miles an hour right there. These guys don't even flinch at that anymore. It's like 92 back in the day.
So we're saying that this guy had a similar look to Miguel Cabrera.
It's a pretty similar look. I don't know if it matches swing to swing, but it looks pretty close.
What do you think here? Cabrera on the left.
I mean, they look facially like each other.
The stance is somewhat similar.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, the big Miggy, his hands are a little higher, but I mean, I like it. If you're going to emulate somebody, that's a pretty good one.
Miguel Cabrera, 505 home runs, so 27th all time. He's 14th in hits, over 3,000 now. He's 19th in runs batted in, and his career average this day and age of baseball is 310. Not too shabby. Chopped left side. Arenado, bare hands, fires, got him. Oh, what a play, Nolan Arenado. Man, is he fun to watch.
You go ahead. I'm running out of things to say.
He's had multiple plays tonight.
Tell me you didn't watch
Going back on a double play, charging, and now this one, the bare hand.
Tell me you didn't watch that in live action and wonder why he waited back on that. Weren't you thinking that? Like, easily could have come and got that for him? And I'm thinking, like, why is he not coming to get that ball?
Also, I want to ask him, and I will hopefully before the homestand is through tomorrow, but what did coaches say to him when he does kind of the patented play on the off balance throw going almost in foul territory?
I'm willing to bet in the minor leagues at some point someone tried to stop him. I'm guaranteeing you.
I agree with you. And I just think, though, there's some guys that are so good, and clearly he is great, but they just said, hey, leave him alone. Let him do what he's doing. But I bet you're right, Jimmy. There was a coach who said, no, you're not going to be able to get away with that in the big leagues.
There's no question.
This time was called by the catcher Herrera, according to Laz Diaz.
It's been a little bit of time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different seasons in the minor leagues here and there. And I guarantee you some coach at some point try to be like, hey, you're going to have to slow down, or hey, you can't catch that ball with your bare hand when it's rolling. All of the cliches, and you know, when you have it, you have it. You just, you know, when it's like when you're doing it, it doesn't seem like anything different. That's just the way you play the game. You know,
well, I like that coaches and some managers will not pigeonhole a player. You know what I mean? Just let him go, let him be. And when it doesn't work anymore, then we'll talk to that player. A little quick pitch there by Fernandez. He's been doing that a few times since his recall.
I told you I had a coach tell me in the outfield that I was trying to catch and throw the ball too quickly, if you can believe that, without making any mistakes. But I should take another step, and I thought, well, I'll think about that, but I'm just going to try and keep doing what I'm doing.
And 8 Gold Gloves later, here you are. 1-2 pitch, fastball at triple digits. Junior Fernandez. Plaza Tire Service pitch tracks in his first strikeout tonight.
You know, I don't know if you've noticed this, but tonight I've noticed it way more than in the past. The body language of the Miami team is just unbelievable. It is not good. It is every swing and miss. It's like ho-hum. Every pitch, strike 3 is like, I can't believe it. The foul ball that just went foul by Soler. He took a long time going back. And that's not a knock. That's just like you fall into that, and then your play turns into that, and you have to be careful.
So how do you stop it if you're Don Mattingly?
You have to bring it to attention.
They did have a closed door meeting a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and that's something that LaRussa, I thought, was more harsh about than most anything else. He could take not winning. But he can't take not hustling and not looking like you're the team that the St. Louis Cardinals are throwing on the field. That would get some tables flipped in a hurry.
0-2 the count with 2 outs, nobody on, and Fernandez trying to record his 6th out in this game.
I told you, he said, if you're not going to compete on the field, then you can go compete with everyone else for dinner. And he flipped over the dinner table. And I said, okay, rightfully done.
Sure, made a massive impression for guys collectively making about $120 million. But I'm just saying.
That was back then. We were only making about.
Don't say it. You're making
quarter of that.
Well, no, how did you survive?
I'm saying, like, I thought it was the message was unbelievable.
I got you.
Was like, if you're
not giving you trouble,
compete on the field, then go compete for dinner with the rest of the world. Because it is 11 o'clock at night now.
It was
on the road.
Message sent.
Yeah, it was awesome. I thought it was great.
Swing and a miss. How about Junior Fernandez? Well done. Couple of strikeouts as he gets 6 outs in relief of Dakota Hudson. Tommy Edman coming up when we come back. Go beyond 50 characters and 3 emojis. Well, you're going to love the quality of Cardinals magazine. Special subscription offer featuring an exclusive Waino Yachty tribute t-shirt. 314-345-9000, cardinals.com/magazine. Chevy called to the pen. Anthony Bass has allowed 1 run in 11 outings in June. 6 straight scoreless outings. And the first pitch to Tommy Edman. Bounce to Aguilar and the out. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. I'm going to throw something at you, Jimmy. You ready?
No, but go ahead.
So the pitch clock, we're seeing it used up and down in the minor leagues. I think it's benefited Junior Fernandez. I mean, he was a slow, methodical worker, and now you're seeing him get the ball and go, and he's in a rhythm. There's a rhythm to what he's doing. I mean, he looks really good.
Well, I think the same with Dakota when it was brought to his attention after New York. And it's not just strikes too. It's having your defense and in the rhythm, but the defense and getting your team back in the dugout and getting them on the offensive side again. You're right, and it can help. And I don't think people realize if you think about all the really good pitchers over history, they just got the ball and threw it. And they knew what they wanted to do to you. They're good. Like Roger, good. He knows, like he shakes. He knows what he wants to do. He's got so many pitches and they go on both sides. Greg Maddux, remember all these guys, like games were not slow. Those guys right there, they get the ball. They know what they want to do. They shake off what, catcher puts down something they don't like and move on.
Carlson with a fly ball off the end of the bat. That'll carry to Sanchez, and it brings in Goldie with 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. Goldschmidt has struck out, walked, and then there was a ball softly hit on a line to Birdie, and he dropped it, ruled a base hit, picked up a run, batted in. And that would be his 65th. And again, 1 home run shy of 300. Look at the gap in left center. And they're not very deep.
You're telling me if he hits a line drive, I'm saying if he hits a line drive over the pitcher's head, it's a double. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, I get the shift, I get some of the stuff, the obvious stuff, but the fly balls in the air to the right center field side and the ground balls, let's say on the pull side, for a lot of guys is a thing, but they don't go in the same place every time. They're just more apt to hit the ball in the air to right center or right than they are to left. But this is basically saying, like, if you're going to do this, you might as well put the left fielder in left center and say if he hits the ball in the air to left, it's a homer. So just go cover the other quarter of the field. It's almost as bad as that. Where were we at when somebody they load up the outfield with 4 guys somewhere? Or I was watching it on TV somewhere, and they had taking a guy out of the
here
infield
earlier this year with Arenado.
4 guys in the outfield. I thought, what are we doing? I think I was texting you actually, and you didn't answer as usual, but it was still worth the text.
Jimmy, I get a lot of texts from you. I was probably catching up. Just saying.
Yeah, probably, but you never return them. So then catching up is like next time we see each other.
Stop with the woe is me stuff.
This is part of the life I get to watch every day. Not with you, but just the world.
2-2 hit down the left field line, and it hooks foul.
So you're basically saying you're not going to put anyone over there.
Well, to your point, if it gets over his head, it's probably gone.
Well, what I don't like about this is if you think about it, I don't know if we can get to that angle again of the camera in the outfield, but if you just hit a regular base hit into left center field, it shouldn't be a double or a triple. It should be probably cut off. But if you hit the ball into left field corner, at least it's not going to be a triple.
The 2-2, and he tied him up with a fastball.
Just do that.
Anthony Bass strikes out Goldie, and we head to the 8th inning with the Cardinals leading 5-3. Price of admission just to see him play defense, and it's been on display here tonight. The BJC Healthcare difference maker coming in. He's so good, getting a lead runner there, taking the chance. This one, the bare hand, whop over to first. BJC difference maker Nolan Arenado, 9-time Gold Glover. Fun to watch. 5-3 our score, top of the 8th. By the way, we have a scoring change. Brace yourself.
Wait a second.
So Donovan is now given a hit and an error taken away from Birdie. So that's 34 hits for Brendan Donovan this month. The great Willie McGee had 34 hits in June of 1982, his rookie season. Donovan is in left.
There he is.
Here's our favorite Willie McGee, and Lars Nootbaar takes over in right field.
Yeah, he's cleaning up the dugout like Tony used to kick the cups underneath the bench. I asked him, what are you doing? He goes, I hate it when the dugout looks dirty on TV. I was like, don't you have enough stuff to worry about? Guys would kick the cups back out in the middle.
Did you ever ask him, and I know the answer, but did you as a player ever go up to him and say, hey Tony, it's 9 o'clock at night, why the sunglasses?
No, I never did. I never thought about that.
Gallegos quickly 0-2 on Nick Fortes. Tony said it was to cover the eyes, kind of like a poker player. Didn't want to give anything away. People had a camera on him or the opposition looking in the dugout. He was pretty emotionless in the dugout. Lack of much expression one way or the other. The 0-2 pitch.
Unless he was yelling at Dusty.
That's different. Right down into a couple of rows behind the green seats. So as we mentioned, Nootbaar is in for Yepez in right field. So with the 2-run lead, going with the better defender. And the 0-2 pitch. Fortes RBI single to center back in the 3rd inning. Grounded out to short. Cardinals trying to get a win for Dakota Hudson and pick up win number 43 on the year. The 1-2 pitch from Giovanni Gallegos. This has been a good response by the Cardinals. 9-0 the win last night following a very tough loss on Sunday and dropping 2 of 3 against the Cubs. And you're staring at Sandy Alcantara tomorrow, one of the best pitchers in baseball. And the 2-2. 0-2 now to a full count.
This is where you get yourself in trouble as a pitcher coming out of the bullpen. Really can't, I don't know, I can't say there's no excuse for it, but it really is no excuse for you to go 0-2, 3-2 with a 2-run lead and risk a walk and get the tying run to the plate late in the game right here.
Tied him up, popped up again, and out of play. Almost the identical spot of the most recent pop-up. Another chance at a souvenir. Here at the ballpark. Gallegos pitched on the 25th over the weekend against the Cubs. Blown save number 4. So he gave up a home run in the 8th that tied it up at 3-3. Cardinals eventually came back and won that game. And the 3-2 pitch fouled back. Sandy Alcantara is getting better and better as this season goes on. Over his last 9 starts, he himself is a 5-game winner in those 9 games, but a 1.40 ERA.
Yeah, I was talking to JP, their TV guy over there, and he was
JP Arancibia.
Yeah, and he was saying it is just getting to the point where they're just like giving him the ball and letting him go, and they have been waiting for that to happen.
3-2 pitch again, and a leadoff walk to the 9th place batter in the lineup. Don't miss your chance to get discounted Cardinal tickets. Get 8 or more gallons of gas at a participating station using the My Phillips 66 app and get up to 50% off Cardinal tickets. For more info, visit phillips66gas.com/Cardinals. It's the second walk that Miami has received in the ball game. Top of the lineup, and now John Birdie hitless tonight, trying to extend his career best 11-game hitting streak. Cardinals have turned 2 double plays tonight. Outside, ball 1.
The thing that happens on the defensive side, especially right now, is you don't realize this, and you never really talk about this as a player, but you don't realize the pressure that you're putting on the defense mentally of thinking right now, we're 1 pitch away from giving up a tie game, or I'm 1 ball in the gap from having to run this down and try to do something special. Like all of a sudden now the game's, everyone's heightened and you're in stress.
Shallow right, Tommy Edman is called off by Lars Nootbaar. Comes in, calls him off, makes the play. And the key first out here in the top of the 8th. This is where you'd have Jazz Chisholm, who started the game this spot in their lineup, had to leave with a sore lower back, and so now it's Eric Gonzalez with Soler on deck.
You can see guys,
and they're going to see a pinch hitter here for Gonzalez. It's Brian Anderson.
There you go. I was going to say, you can see guys also too when you watch the field from up here. You'll start to see the outfielders back up with the walk. It's like all of a sudden, okay, I can't be the one get beat, or I can't do this wrong, and it's not on top of your game anymore.
Got to be careful with Anderson. He's got some pop. And he just came off the injured list. Still with a shoulder issue and a back problem last couple of years. Tried him in the outfield, can play right field, primarily at third base. And Gallegos would love the ground ball here. First pitch, strike 1. Milwaukee leading Tampa 5-3. That's in the top of the 9th. Brandon Woodruff making the start in Tampa. First start since losing to the Cardinals back on the 27th of May. And that's a big addition to the rotation of the Brewers. Went on the IL with an ankle sprain. Had the extended stay. He was diagnosed with a circulatory condition that causes numbness in his fingers. He had reduced blood flow, so that was kind of a serious situation, obviously, with Woodruff. Milwaukee has won 7 of their last 10. And the 1-1 pitch from Gallegos, taken high.
And also the thing too to remember is I feel like this game just came to a screeching halt, momentum wise. That's the other thing when you're on defense, and now you're getting flat-footed. Gallegos has got great stuff. I don't think he trusts his stuff as much as he used to.
For a while, he went away from the fastball. The numbers with the breaking ball were very, very high, his usage. Now it's 2-2, 95 there from Giovanni Gallegos.
Well, you know, you get a book on guys, and they talk about if he throws his fastball usually once for a strike and everything else is out of the zone. And then he'll slider you to death. And so you go up there looking for sliders. And what you do when you look for sliders is you try not to overswing. And so now you're taking borderline pitches. That's when you have to attack.
And a 2-2 pitch from Gallegos. On its way. Fouled back. Anderson 1 for 2 head-to-head against Giovanni Gallegos. He's 0 for 1 this year as a pinch hitter with a walk and a strikeout. Has not grounded into a double play this season in 33 games. And the 2-2 pitch. Just a bit high. Runner at first is Fortes. They've got De La Cruz and Stallings on their bench, and Soler on deck. (3-2) pitch by Gallegos. Fouled back.
Yikes.
So that's your catcher at first. They elect not to start him, down by 2. So a chance here to get one on the ground and a double play. And Miami's thinking a chance to tie this game up.
This is that last pitch right down the middle. That's a big dude to be making mistakes with. This guy's 6'3", 210, 215, and he can, like you said, he's got some pop.
Ryan Helsley throwing in the St. Louis bullpen, and a 3-2 pitch. Fouled back again. As they say, ball game, the more pitches you see, the more dialed in you may get with a
can get for sure
a bat, and that might be happening here with Anderson. So you got to be careful. Some anxious moments here for Mike Maddox and Ollie Marmol. Pitch number 9 coming up. So 1 out, runner at first, and a 3-2 pitch by Gallegos. On its way. We'll have another one. Giovanni thinking, all right, what do I need to do to put him away? What's the pitch that will get him?
Look at that gangload of pitches right there. Good at bat so far. Just like to maybe find something. He gets a little anxious, kind of try to get that outside corner. If you're gonna let him beat you, you know what I say, Danny, it's got to be the other way.
A 3-2 again. He got him. Couldn't pull the trigger. It was fastball after fastball, and that time that pitch just vanished. That breaking ball that he's got.
That's a good slider right there. Caught a lot of plate, but clearly Brian Anderson still thinking fastball, and you know he's thinking home run. You know he's thinking tie game. He's not thinking walk. He's not there to walk, and that's just a little wrinkle.
6th strikeout in the lineup for Miami. The Cardinals, understandably so. A pitch Soler away.
This guy's thinking tie game every swing.
Oh, you bet he is. Big power at the plate. Jorge Soler. Off the plate, ball 1. You have Gary Cooper on deck, who is swinging a very hot bat. He's got a base hit tonight. Soler, 2-out RBI single to right, back in the 3rd inning. He's flied to right and also walked. Cardinals about hit the Marlins 10-6 and they lead it 5-3. Tying run at the plate. And the 1-0 pitch. Gallegos to Soler. That is a hack, my friend. He is not going to get cheated.
48 home runs in 2019.
And then the amazing postseason run last year in the World Series with the Braves, as they remade their outfield because of suspension, injury. Soler was a part of that. He's 2 for 5 head-to-head against Gallegos with a double. And the 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike.
The funny thing with the Cubs too is he came up and he was projected to be a superstar, but he never really played enough to get any kind of groove. 1 out of the 3 years he played 100 games and that's it. So he never got a lot of at bats. Thus he moved on to Kansas City and finally got some more playing time.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. Fouled back just below us. And now 2 strikes and it's 2-2.
I'd love to see him if he's going to throw the curveball, the breaking ball, the slider, whatever. It's got to be down, but you got to be careful because you don't really want to go 3-2.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. He got him. It's a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts. Anderson and Soler. Scoreless inning for Giovanni Gallegos. And it keeps it a 2-run St. Louis lead. Let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. Edmundo Sosa with this triple into left center, brought in Brendan Donovan, and then with 2 outs, same inning in the 5th. Edman, Carlson, Goldie, all with 2-out hits. Arenado as well. And that's been the difference in this game, is that big 5th inning for St. Louis. Trailed at 1.3-0. Now they lead at 5-3. Jimmy Yacobonis, the Chevy called to the pen.
You see that ball that Sosa hit, and it was rolling through the outfield in left center, mind you, and ended up with a triple. That's how big they let these gaps play.
Scoreless inning by Bass. Yacobonis is the 4th pitcher used. Braxton Garrett, the starter, went 4 2/3. Arenado looks at a fastball high. Nootbaar to follow, and then Pujols. Nolan, a couple of hits tonight. 2 singles, 1 to left, the other to center, and now a home run. Will it stay fair? It is just foul.
Ouch. It's 2 tonight, isn't it?
Woo. Close. Foul, and not by much.
Foul is the key, though. It's just foul, and that's what's frustrating.
And the 1-1.
What I've been watching a lot with Nolan is when he just misses a pitch like that. One, what do they do to come back with? And then just like the other day when we were in Milwaukee, I believe, but he just missed the fastball, but it was in play. But he wasn't going to miss that fastball for the rest of the night.
No.
Hanging or hooking a breaking ball is a little different story, or other stuff, but you know, it's interesting to watch. All the games we do now, you kind of start watching certain games at different angles, and that was one of the things I started watching a little bit with him and Goldie, is when they do hit a ball either during an at bat what do they do? What do they try to do to them the next at bat? Or what happens when you yank a ball foul? So I remember having a conversation, and I'll bring this up to you as soon as we see this pitch.
2-2. Got him.
I had a conversation with Bronson Arroyo after 2010, and I was playing we faced each other a bunch. I was playing in Milwaukee my last year, and he threw me a fastball inside, and I pulled it foul, and I pulled it not way foul, but way gone, home run. And I thought, what's he going to do? But I kind of knew his glove situation, and I said, man, he's going to throw me another fastball. And he said, I was going to throw you another fastball in because I didn't think he'd expect it. And little did he know I knew it was coming, but he threw it right back in there. And the next pitch I hit out again.
Newbar into the shift. Hustling down the line, and out number 2.
That got me thinking, like, what do these pitchers think and what do these hitters think? Because, you know, I don't know what I would think if I didn't have that read on him. But
I think with certain guys, you treat them a little differently.
Yeah.
And also you got to see the reaction of the swing. I think situations dictate that as well.
But that he said to me, I didn't think you would expect it again.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're thinking, oh, I just hit that ball a mile, and I'm thinking, I mean, that was my one shot. But you just have to be ready for fastball when guys are throwing fastballs to you, and that's what he used to do.
See what Albert can do. Guess right and launch one out of here. 2 outs and nobody on. Well, they're always together except when somebody's in the batter's box.
No, Albert's not right behind him, and he's going to have to cheer from over there.
Pujols, a base hit into center. On the bench right now, you've got Nolan Gorman, you got Connor Capel, you got Kisner. Albert said, give me the ball.
Isn't that just like a little bit of a feel-good story every time he gets a hit, especially with all the things he's been through over the last few years?
So the base hit by Pujols, and Connor Capel, who came in and made his major league debut defensively as a replacement in left field last night, is now your runner at first base. And here's Donovan. Oh hum, a couple of more hits tonight for Brendan Donovan playing in left field.
It's incredible.
Two out, shift on the right side. And a check on Capel. Foul back, 0-2. Statcast powered by Google Cloud. Dakota Hudson, and the outs recorded in, well, where they're going.
Crazy.
Up, down, in, out.
It just shows you the pitching, right? Balls up, fly balls, chance for home runs, balls down, ground balls, and on the edges, strikeouts.
I think Capel would run, but 16 of 22 in stolen base attempts while in Memphis.
He usually gets strikeouts with that slider tonight, and he got strikeouts with the fastball. Kind of threw some balls by guys when I think they were thinking slider.
All kinds of room on the left side of the infield. Exaggerated shift. 0-2 the count on Donovan. Fastball high. Cooper, Aguilar, Garcia looking ahead to the 9th inning. Ryan Helsley is standing on the mound in the bullpen of St. Louis. And the 1-2 pitch to Brendan Donovan instead of check on Connor Capel. Missed it earlier. Jim had a great interview with Roger Clemens. You're saying, why Roger Clemens? Well, he is the godfather of Connor Capel, and as Roger told Jim, he went to high school with Connor's mother and then played baseball with his father. Fun visit. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, and it's taken low and outside. The 2-2. Inside corner, strikeout of Brendan Donovan. Sends us to the 9th inning here of Game 2 of this series. And Ryan Helsley will try to finish it off when we come back. Authority of the Cardinals not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals trying to win this series and then potentially go for a sweep tomorrow against Miami. So we'll wrap up the homestand off day Thursday, and then the final road trip before the All-Star break. Helsley getting loose for this 9th inning. Families at the ballpark. It's been a perfect night for baseball, temperature-wise, just gorgeous.
Yes, last 2 days have been pretty nice.
There's Garrett Cooper. Cardinals about hit the Marlins 11-6. They lead the ball game 5-3. Right-handed batters have a total of 4 hits. The lefties, 4 hits. He's allowed 8 hits this season. The righties 4 for 51, lefties 4 for 42. It's been a remarkable start to his season. 39 strikeouts, unscored upon in his last 8 games, span of 11 innings. He's only allowed 4 hits. Pitched over the weekend against the Cubs, inning and 2/3, walked a pair, struck out 2, picked up his 3rd win. This is Garrett Cooper. He has a base hit tonight. Grounded into a fielder's choice twice in this game. He's had 68 pitches this year at 100 miles per hour or better. 8th most in Major League Baseball. And when he comes into a game, more times than not, the game is, tied or with a lead, and the Cardinals are 21-2 when he appears in a ball game. He is the weapon that really can shut the door on the opposition.
I love the fact that he was pretty good last year or so, and it's gotten better. The arm is strong still. The slider is better. He's healthy.
Tough pitch fought off by Cooper, and a foul ball down the right field line. Talking with him about that injury he sustained last year with his knee, and he said, I have not changed a thing in terms of delivery, grip with the slider. He said, but now I can land and feel comfortable in doing so after he had the cleanup knee surgery and basically finish my pitches.
Well, it was pretty obvious right away.
And the 2-2 out of play. 99 on the gun from Helsley. The Cardinals really have been careful with Helsley and Gallegos, but in particular Ryan Helsley in terms of just trying not to use him in back-to-back games, extended outings, those types of things. Keep him as fresh as he can be. And a 2-2 pitch to Cooper inside, full count. And the 3-2 pitch to Garrett Cooper. Swing and a miss. Triple digits from Ryan Helsley.
Wow.
And a strikeout to begin this 9th inning.
So awesome to watch. It is just like he gets it. This run doesn't mean anything. He went after him the whole entire at bat. The ball is right down the middle at 100 miles an hour and cannot catch up.
Marlins have seen a very tough bullpen from the Cardinals tonight. Junior Fernandez looked outstanding. Came into the ball game with nobody out, 1 on in the 6th. Inning at 2/3. A couple of strikeouts. Gallegos in the 8th inning, and a strikeout to lead off this 9th inning from Ryan Helsley. Bullpen has been really good, and what you take away from the game is that with each passing appearance, Junior Fernandez, his importance is growing.
Well, I've always liked him. I think that the arm is great. He always seems to have the velocity, and it's just every time he goes out there, he's going to get more experience, you know. And you learn from games that you don't throw strikes. You learn from games when you rush and do different things. And so the more he gets out there, the more experience, the better he's going to be. And like I said, I think the velocity, I cannot remember a time when his velocity has been below 96 at the lowest point. And it's just good to see. And then if he turns into, you know, you learn from these guys up here. He starts learning breaking balls and other pitches. Sky's the limit.
Back-to-back Ks, Ryan Helsley. Budweiser play of the game off the bat. The Cardinals center fielder Dylan Carlson. Remember, the Cardinals were down 3-0 in this game, and have come back with 5 unanswered. That ground rule double scored Tommy Edman. And our Budweiser play of the game, part of the 4-run 5th for St. Louis. And the Cardinals 1 out away from taking game 2 of the series. Avisail Garcia. Two outs, nobody on. First pitch, strike 1.
I was going to say, I almost think right here would be good time for that slider first pitch, just because he's thrown a lot of fastballs. And not that you matter, like the home run doesn't matter, getting behind, but you know he's thinking fastball, and then you can finish him with the fastball, but just a little different look. It's always those games, right? How many fastballs can you throw in a row early on? Which guy is the guy you maybe want to like kind of trick a little bit?
Here's the 0-1 fastball outside at 100.
Just letting it fly now.
Cardinals strike out. They just keep on coming. They've had 4 in a row. 2 from Gallegos, 2 from Helsley. And now the Marlins down to their final strike.
Don't you love it when guys hold that swing out there? And if you were to look at the highlight of it, he's not even close. I always get a kick out of it. You can tell, too, when you're on the field, like when a guy is on a pitch, it usually goes straight back. It doesn't kind of go back over the dugout or the on-deck circle. We talked about those players you can trust by having the way they can play with strike 3. It's the same kind of thing right there.
The next swing and a miss. He strikes out the side here in the 9th. Helsley dominant. Bullpen great. Cardinals come back and they win it 5-3.
Danny, you just took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say domination right there by Helsley. I mean, that is as dominant as you can get for a closer. Dakota Hudson, nice job. Pitch count got a little bit up there. Game was a little dicey early, and the Cardinals just kept playing. Play 9 innings. Nice job, 5-3, like you said, and that was a good game right there.
Helsley 15 pitches, 11 strikes, and the Cardinals are now 43 and 34, and they'll look for a sweep tomorrow night. Plenty of Cardinals coverage coming up on the post-game show. Stay with us. Cardinals were down 3-0. They win it 5-3. Post-game comes your way next.
Joins me to break it all down on Cardinals Live. Dakota Hudson trying to follow in the footsteps of Adam Wainwright's strong Game 1 start. And despite one rough inning, he kept the fish at bay. Brad tells us why. Plus, the offense kept chipping away. We're going to bring you plenty of post-game reaction, including Ali Marmol's post-game presser. Stay with us on this edition of Cardinals Live.